Hello fellow travelers, Big Dan 420. Got a bunch more ships to show you again. This time we got some more Star Wars, some more aircraft, and I got a few somewhat originals this time. So, hope you like a few of them, and let's start with Star Wars again. First off, we have my ARC 170 Starfighter. Building this thing required a lot of offsetting. I had to use the gravity glitch to build the beard up front, and I had to make the wings out of panels. And making the angled wings was kind of difficult. Here we have my version of the Stinger Mantis. The interior on this thing is slightly weird. There's 2 extra landing bays on the inside, and these walls in the middle are made out of panels because I put the main landing bays on the sides. To build this thing, I had to use a few glitches to get 90 and 180 degree rotations so that I could stack parts like I wanted. And I also had to build the fin out of panels. It could also be built horizontally. Here we have my Ebon Hawk. No first person in this thing. I had to use a lot of custom angle placement with the windows to make this thing kind of a half circle. Here we have my pod racer. I feel like somebody else has probably already built this thing at this point since it's so simple, but I did come up with it myself. This thing only uses about 11 or 12 pieces, but it does require the part deletion glitch using the next build terminal. Here we have my version of a Millennium Falcon. I've seen quite a few pretty much perfectly accurate ones at this point, but I wasn't really going for that. The way I built this thing is pretty complicated. This whole corridor here is built out of panels, and I decided to make one giant room in here, but because of that there's landing bays on the inside. Most of this thing was built using the custom angle placement, but the way I did it, I didn't really end up with a perfect circle. Here we have my personal version of a Falcon, which I call the Falcon of Freedom. It's named after my very first Corvette build, where I tried to build the same thing. I'll show that next. Since this is my main Corvette, I actually did a whole interior. Got some refiners here, Got a lounge area with a window and a bedroom for the captain. Have a landing bay to the side, some nip growing, a storage bay, another exit out the front. We have a crew cabin up here. We got another lounge area and another landing bay. Then we have the back of the ship. Have a robot med bay. We have the reactor here, dead in the middle. We have all my stuff. Got my bite beat system. And then we go downstairs for more storage. This build, while pretty complicated, only really uses offsetting, except for the engines in the back where I used custom placement. Here we have my original Falcon of Freedom. This was my very first Corvette build, where I attempted to make a Millennium Falcon of my own, and the game decided to give it the name the Falcon of Freedom. I didn't come up with that. Since this thing was my very first build, it doesn't use any building tricks or glitches whatsoever. That's all I got for Star Wars in this one. Let's move on to some aircraft. Here we have my F-22 Raptor. To build this thing, I pretty much only used offsetting and panel building. Here we have my F-35 Lightning. I built this thing almost the same as I did my F-22, just offsetting and panel building. I also think I kind of built these back wings a little too big, but I didn't want to go back and make them smaller. Here we have my V-22 Osprey. As usual, pretty much just offsetting and panel building to make this thing. Here we have my F4U Corsair. I showed how to make the angled wings on this thing in another video. Otherwise, it's just offsetting and panel building. That's all the aircraft for now. Let's move on to some other stuff. Here we have my UFO. I made the interior on this thing be one giant room. I never did anything with it though. This thing is mainly custom angle placement to make the multiple layers of circles. I don't have a name for this thing, but it was kind of inspired by Speed Racer. The interior on this thing is completely filled with engines, but you can still walk in and out. I used a lot of offsetting and 180 rotations to get all the parts clipped into the front of this thing. Here we have my version of a ship from Star Citizen that quite a few other people have made. I built this thing using offsetting, custom angle placement for the wings, and some panels. Here we have an Aeron build that the game decided to give the name the Hawk of the Geck. This thing uses a lot of custom placement for the wings, and it also has 90 and 180 degree rotations so that I can make that reactor thing in there. Here we have another Aeron build that I like to call the Missile Barrage. Building this thing pretty much just used offsetting, 180 glitch, and deleting some parts from the next build terminal. Last up, I went a little crazy with vertical building and ended up making a mech. Just a fair warning, this thing's so tall we're about to glitch through the station. This thing was an absolute pain to build, but I did build it with no mods on a PS4. Well, that's all I got for this time. If anyone wants to see how any of these are built, just drop a comment and hopefully I'll get to it. But anyways, hope you liked a few of them. Thank you for watching and have a good one.